All right, well, as digital media companies continue to look for ways to reach larger and larger audiences, digital advertisers are evolving as well. Ad tech company Taboola just released its new Taboola feed feature as a way to increase the content available to consumers. And joining us now is Adam Singolda, founder and CEO of Taboola. Adam, it's great to see you again.
Thanks for having me.
A frequent guest here on the show.
Yeah, I'm trying to be regular.
All right, so with the feed,
yes.
what is the feed all about? And for anyone scrolling through your website or even on the browser online, how do they see it?
So I'm really excited. You know, I started Taboola 10 years ago. That's why my white hair. You know, all this like craziness.
That's what happens.
And you know, over the years, if you look at the trends, everything is moving to a smaller screen and mobile device. And there's so many competing things for users' attention. You have these widgets, and you know, things coming from the right, from the bottom, in the middle of the article.
Yeah.
And it just became really hard to read the article that you came to read.
So hard. I can attest to that.
So Taboola feed is essentially, we've taken the beautiful thing that Facebook and Twitter and Instagram did, which is this beautiful scroll that you just like spend 55 minutes a day doing.
Right.
And we're taking it to the open web so that every article you read would finish with something that feels like an Instagram feed or a Facebook feed.
No, totally makes sense. When I think about Taboola and being able to kind of just scroll through the endless content, and you brought up Facebook. Now, this is a company, along with Twitter, that we know is trying to push more and more into video and in live video in that case. Is there some way that Taboola could perhaps leverage those sort of live video content in terms of your feed, or is that something that you guys have even thought about?
I actually think you're touching on a very important point. I actually think the only way to drive video growth, live or not live, is by having this feed. You know, Facebook cracked the code on becoming a massive video company because it's so hard to get people to click to watch a video.
Right.
But if you integrate it like nicely in a scroll experience, they may just stick around and watch it. So I think actually the only way to make publishers and help them become massive video companies is by giving them this scroll experience, and every third or fourth or fifth card showing a video people may like and never knew existed.
Okay, so you had tested this out then, right, with the New York Daily News, and that was over the past month or so. So did it evolve, did it change at all over the course of that test?
Oh, it changed a lot. We're A/B testing everything we can, you know, pixel size, colors, size of the fonts, everything, and I'm happy to say that we're improving both revenue and engagement for publishers that are testing it, and the Daily News actually announced the stats between 20 to 50% improvement of mobile revenue and engagement, which is huge.
Right, how important is it really for these publishers to be able to specifically target consumption habits really derived from these social media platforms when they're looking to put their content on there?
It's so, you know, these are difficult days. I mean, I think in many ways publishers are super afraid of these big social companies because over time people stick around more in social companies and they watch your videos on Facebook. But you really want people to go to Cheddar and know Cheddar as a brand. So I think that it's really important for publishers in all companies such as Cheddar, Daily News, NBC, CBS, to build relationship with consumers. And as they come to their website, give them this experience they already like. And you know, they're entertained and they're doing that almost an hour every day. So I actually think that we must think of a way to build an alternative world to social networks so people get to know us directly.
Okay, so we got a bell behind us there. That's what we're hearing Adam here on the floor of the stock exchange. Maybe a bell for you one day if you ever go public. Speaking of deals though, right, in April there was chatter that maybe there will be a merger here between Taboola and Outbrain. Are you interested in that?
I mean, I can tell you, I immediately emailed all of my company and I said that if someone asks you, just say it's fake news. And then people were very offended I used that term. So I can tell you it's news that are not true. So you call it any way you want to call it.
Okay.
Well, I will say though, based on that news though, a lot of people are saying, well, it could be a reflection of the synergies between your two companies because you guys do a lot of similar things, but also perhaps reflecting more on a tougher time in terms of ad tech, which you alluded to slightly earlier. What are some of those tougher times and how do you guys kind of work around that?
I mean, I think first of all, there are definitely many synergies between the companies. It's always a good idea and it's important to talk about it. It's just not happening right now.
Right.
As a company, for us, we're growing super fast. We're hiring nearly a person every day. We generated over $500 million last year. We're getting close to $1 billion in revenue this year, profitable for 3 years. So I think there's actually a massive opportunity. We're trying to take $80 billion of display advertising and making it native and beautiful for consumers. So there's a lot of growth in my opinion, especially as we're bringing feeds and videos and things of that nature.
Right, but there are some struggles still within the ad tech world and with trying to get publishers in order to monetize, what it is that they're doing. I mean, how do those perhaps struggles really impact your business?
I think primarily the shift to mobile has made it difficult for publishers and companies like us to try to generate at least the same revenue as we generated in desktop in bigger screens. I think display has been working less. For companies like us, I want to say for the most part we've seen really good growth. We're fortunate that the strategy we've taken is in line with where the industry is going, which is smaller screen, beautiful rendering of experiences, very similar to what we're seeing in social networks. I think for traditional advertising companies, which is more display advertising, pre-roll maybe, people are less clicking on those things. And on Taboola, people click 1.4 billion times a month. So people discover many things on Taboola, but I think for traditional advertising companies, it's less successful.
Valued at nearly $1 billion, raised more than $100 million in financing, and you said too that you're hiring a person every single day. So which areas of the business are you ramping up, and who are these new hires?
I hire everything, and we even started Taboola.
Everything?
every person, every position, everything, and we started Taboola University, so it starts on the first of every month, and then people that basically join the university for 2 weeks, and we're trying to give them all the knowledge that we can, so that by the end of it, you become a Taboolar, like a real member of the family, and it's not easy to scale that fast, but we're doing the best we can.
Well, Adam, since we do have you down here on the floor of the stock exchange, and we did just hear a bell a few minutes ago that a company went public down here and just started trading, can we perhaps say the same for you in the next year, 2 years? Is Taboola perhaps thinking of a public offering?
Mergers,
hey,
IPOs,
we have to ask the hard
everything has been discussed in Cheddar.
What's the future, right, Adam?
I mean, we're not
Give us the real news.
We're not looking to do it anytime soon. We're fortunate to raise enough money to stay private and have a good time, and we'll see where it goes.
Is the aspiration though to take the company public one day?
I mean, we're becoming big, so I don't know what other strategies exist really for companies of our size, but so I do think Taboola deserves to be public at some point, just not anytime soon.
All right, outside of the Taboola feed, which is huge news for publishers, what else are you guys working on?
Many things. We're now looking into bringing Taboola to new worlds outside of the web. So I think TVs should be shipped with Taboola inside of them. I think mobile devices should be shipped with Taboola inside of them. I want everything that I look at to say, you may like, and just make my day better, personalized, improved.
So are you talking with some of the big companies right now? It's most of the tech companies really that are coming to mind, right? Facebook, Apple, trying to get better positioning, trying to get on those, whether it's the Apple TV, whether it's Facebook TV, whatever it is, Twitter as well.
We're talking to companies, not these two specifically. I'm not sure they really want to talk to us right now, as they're building their own closed environment. But we're definitely talking to companies that, similar to what I've mentioned before, TV companies, device companies, and we're trying to, I think it's going to take us a while, like 3, 4, 5 years, but I'm thinking that when I wake up in the morning, it would be amazing if my phone would tell me, you have a Cheddar interview today, that's what you need to know. Here's a product you should consider buying. You have drinks at night, before you go to that drink, here's a place you should buy a book. So I only have 24 hours a day.
Right.
Someone's going to have to curate my day-to-day experiences, and I hope that's going to be Taboola. We started with the web, and I want to take the company to anywhere people make decisions on discover things.
Okay, so maybe Amazon might be a company that you would be talking to get on baked into that Alexa service, I presume.
And you just raised money from Amazon, so
yes, we did.
So maybe we can help.
All right, well, we have a confirmation there that it is Amazon. Thank you, Adam.
All right, thank you very much for joining us. Greatly appreciate it. Coming up, the concerns LGBTQ people still face, unfortunately, while traveling abroad. But first, the world's largest wind turbines.